the overall infrastructure deficit itself stands at close to $100 million. And if we are to add the whole concept of greening of economies, we would need to add another figure of $115 million. Now that's a massive investment which is required. We can talk about solutions, we can talk about business models, but for it to be effectively implemented, at the end of the day, what we need is investments on the table. And another interesting emerging area which is being developed, including debated in India, which has been there in the last couple of years, has been this whole involvement of private sector participation. One understands that public sector alone would not be able to bring this investments on board. So you need the role of and the partnership with the private sector. And one of the models which has been emerged has been this whole model of public-private partnership. One interesting concept which is emerging is adding another P to the three P's, which is public-private partnership, but another P which is important to be added is People's First Public-Private Partnership. So what does People First Public-Private Partnership? It basically means that in the financial and management arrangement between the public sector and the private sector, the collaboration is done keeping in mind the involvement of the beneficiaries and the communities. I think that's extremely important. And as a consumer organization and an international think tank which has been advocating on consumers' interest, I think one important factor which we all need to be aware of and we need to be more cautious about is that how do we address the last mile consumers? We're in a country where we still have close to 300 million people living below the poverty line. Can we ensure that how do we get access to energy which is affordable, which is accessible to those last mile consumers? I'll end my brief presentation with a last important point. There have been a lot of challenges which has been spoken about since the first half of the morning. I'm sure we're going to hear more challenges in the last two sessions. What is required in order to deal with the challenges is the need to create a social alliance of different actors. We as Kutch have already taken an initiative in terms of establishment of seed communities in state of Rajasthan and West Bengal. It's an initiative being implemented by Kutch International, and I'm happy to say that we also have a support in this initiative by BCCI. I'll just briefly explain you the concept of seed community. The seed community will be an open-ended, inclusive and a continuous expertise-driven community of group of 8 to 10 people which will be selected at the state level itself, including in Rajasthan and West Bengal. The seed community will be comprised of people who have the technical ability, who have the commercial understanding, and most important, who also have the political understanding. I think what's extremely important at the end of the day, whatever we discuss, whatever solutions we arrive at, needs to be vetted by 3 important parameters: technical, commercial feasibility, but most important is political feasibility. With that, the whole agenda of the community is to create change agents who can then work and produce policy documents, evidence-based suggestions, with the objective of working in the area of sustainable development. That's an initiative we have just launched. It's an initiative for 5 years, and we hope to contribute at the state of West Bengal and Rajasthan with our policy interventions towards the agenda on sustainable development. With that, thank you very much.